Hey you guys, I'm Molly with Design Loves Detail, and we are talking about tile today. It's going to be really exciting, how to pick and pair tiles together for different spaces if you're remodeling or building or just generally interested in tiles. So stay tuned. Alrighty guys, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of when our next video is live. Also feel free to leave comments in any of the videos and let us know future content you may want to see, things you have questions on, that sort of stuff. We are going to dive into kind of how to pair tiles together. I know that this has been overwhelming for some people, and I love tile, and I think it can be a really cool place to bring a home together and just make an exciting impact. So I think it'll be something that you hopefully come to love after I give you a few little pointers. First of all, I'm gonna basically walk you through different bathrooms that I've created so that you can kind of see how I picked it and then how it turned out, and how they all play off each other. So this is from our primary bathroom, and this beautiful tile is a printed marble, and it is from Stone Impressions. They print patterns onto natural stone tiles, which is really unique and cool. A little bit of a splurge, but really cool stuff. This tile was kind of the starting off point for the space. We built this home almost 3 years ago, and it reminds me of just some of the textiles from like India that have the hand-blocked print, which I love. So this kind of started the vision. I wanted to do cabinetry that is a white oak, and I love the pairing of this light, bright white oak with kind of the white and gray and black that's in this. Very, like, I feel like kind of has a classic feel to it, but still up to date and current and fresh. With that being said too, one thing that I will tell you guys that is probably one of the most helpful tips when it comes to tile is that you actually usually have a smaller amount of tile on the floor. If you have an expansive primary suite, that probably isn't the case, but in a typical bathroom, your floor tile in the bathroom is usually not huge. So that's a place you can put a little more money, and where you usually want to get a more affordable tile is for the walls of the shower, because even though it doesn't seem like it would be a ton, that really adds up. So you doing an affordable tile is something you'll see that I do often in shower wall spaces. Also, the shower floor is a great place to make an impact if it is just a freestanding shower. Some of the bathrooms, as you'll see, are like the tub. They have the cast iron tub, and so they don't even have a shower floor tile. But in the ones that do, that's another place you can put a little more expensive tile because you just don't need a ton of it, which is great. So for this one, here's the really cool shower floor tile that I went with. Love this mosaic. This sample's been kicking around for a while here, quite a few years, so it has some cracks, but you can get the idea. This is from Floor & Decor. I think this one's around like $15 a square foot, so it's not cheap, but you know, if you're just using it for like an impact space in a niche or on a shower floor like we did, it's doable. So, I mean, depending, obviously every space has a different budget, but this is a honed marble, and it's actually been great when you seal it. There's a little bit more variation in the color, so it's kind of just like different shades of grays on that one. Love that it's that star and cross pattern, still current and beautiful. I actually used this again when we finished our basement. I was so in love with this, and we just had it on our primary bathroom shower floor that I was like, it needs more of a moment. And so we did it on the whole floor in the bathroom that's between the two bedrooms down here. For the shower itself, for the walls, this was one that is just a marble. I did this marble on the countertops as well. I did a Carrera, and this is similar. This was from Floor & Decor as well, and it actually wasn't crazy expensive. Definitely more than like a faux marble or something, but this is what we did for the walls, and I love it. I did it in a vertical stacked pattern, so it still feels modern, even though it's a little bit more traditional with the marble feel. And I wanted to bring in, you know how this pattern here has this black outline? I wanted to bring in a little bit of that black too. So for the cabinets, this isn't the exact hardware, but we did a matte black. You'll see the knob. The wall that's behind the tub has a stone really similar to this. I didn't have a sample of it, but I thought this would give you the idea. This one is close to what we did for the wall behind the tub. I just wanted that to be a big statement there. And of course, this was the bathroom that we put the most expense into. The kids' bathrooms and things, I definitely went a little more cost friendly, But this one, we wanted the wow and kind of the luxurious feel. And so I don't regret that. It's been great. And then I've loved how all these different pieces play off each other. And you can get a pretty good sense of it with laying it out like this. You still sometimes don't quite get the full vision until it comes together. And so that's why I want to show you the completed version as well. And this is kind of the best you can do, is laying out the samples and get as big of pieces as you can with samples, just to kind of envision all the different spaces. We're gonna check out another one. You might recognize this tile from our recent, that small bathroom reveal that we did. This is a really cool pattern cement tile. You can see that this is thicker on the side. This one is from Riyadh Tile. They have a really cool cement tiles and terrazzo types. This one is what I did for the floor with it. You can see that really cool look of the stone pieces in there. And they also have these handmade tiles, which are really cool. Zalige is the name of those. And this is actually not the exact one I used. I used the darker gray, but I couldn't find our sample. It's called steel gray. And this is the antique white. It's interesting because they're so thick and they each have a little bit of variation because they're handmade. I love the look of that. That'll give you an idea of kind of how those are in terms of thickness. You need to plan for that when you are creating your space. This one looks so good. This is what we did for the bathroom floor, and then this was our shower floor, and then this one was for the walls. And this was one I made an exception on. Normally, like I said, I do a little bit more affordable on the wall, and this handmade one is a little more spendy, but it just was so cool. And I partnered with Riyadh Tile, so they hooked me up, and I am obsessed with those. So that was a pretty fun project. Another recent space was the hallway bathroom that we did at the remodel project. It's one I did with build.com, and I couldn't find, again, our sample of that exact floor tile, but I'll show you. It's very similar. It's a marble with like kind of a little square inset that's a gray, and I wanted to kind of pull out that gray tone. I did kind of this with a greenish undertone for the shower walls in a 12 by 24. And this is a cool tile because it is a porcelain, but it has a matte with actual texture to it. So it's really fun and gives a little more interest with that texture. We did the brass hardware in there, as you'll see, the light fixtures, faucets, all the stuff, so that I felt like a combination of marble with this kind of greenish undertone with the brass was just so pretty. And another one that would be really cute with any type of mosaic is this Chloe tile. This is from Bedrosians, and they have, you can see back here, this is actually that same tile, and this is the white. It has very like subtle variation in it, and it's almost more like, it's not a true white. It's almost like an off-white and also some gray tones in there. I really love that. I feel like that gives that higher end look, like the handmade tiles. And so I've used this in multiple projects. I'll show you another one soon where I use the gray. It comes in these squares, and then also kind of like a subway. And you can see like this one's a little bit darker and that one's pretty white. And then that's kind of almost like the in-between off-white one, but they look really good together. And so this is like a little bit longer than a subway, but what I love too is that the edge, you can kind of see the edge has a little bit of movement to it. It's not just a simple plain straight edge. They still are, I think, pretty good for install. They don't get too crazy in terms of variation in the edges, but it does, sometimes it does take a little bit more work than your simple tiles. This one, we did the most minimal spacing we could. I think it was like the 1/16, the little tiniest spacers, because I wanted it really close. And this grout is called Mapei, M-A-P-E-I. Guys, why am I'm so bad at words? Like I always, and I actually have an English degree, if you wanted to know. I went to school for design, but then my dad told me that wasn't very practical. So I got an English degree, super practical, but it helps me write for my blog. So creative writing, but I kept doing design courses. So if you wanted to know a little history, since I love design, I kept doing those courses throughout college and almost did it as a minor, but then I was just like, no, I'm done with college. And so I just graduated with a creative writing degree. Back to what I was saying. It looks really good with kind of those whitish, grayish tones, the lighter. It's not particularly dark, so, but it does blend really well with marbles. I've used it with a bunch of different marbles. That is the grout color that I used in the primary bathroom that I shared with that printed pattern tile. Anyways, the point is, that's one of my favorite grout colors. And I really love the Chloe tile for its versatility. Thought we'd talk about the remodel primary bathroom as well, which started with this floor tile, which is a terrazzo. It's actually a porcelain that is made to look like it has these inlaid stones. And this comes in a variety of sizes, like a 12 by 24 like this. I did the 30 by 30, those huge squares, and I've been really happy with it. It's also very durable in terms of tile, so that is good. For the countertops in this bathroom, I went with the this granite that has that leathered finish, and it kind of ties in, but is a little bit darker. And also the shower floor, I love. This looks a little bit darker when it has its sealer on it. So it's a little bit closer to that countertop color, bringing in kind of that, I just love that natural wood, white, black, and gray. Really classic, I think. And then the countertops that we used for that vanity area, if you guys will remember, is this quartz, which is made to look like marble. And so it brings in that pop of white. And the, let's see, I had mentioned that we would talk about the Chloe tile in gray as well. So this is the gray. And again, it has varying shades. We did I think these are 4 by 4. And you can kind of get a feel for how those look. That was in the shower area. Again, that's a more affordable tile than some. Hardware I did in that space was those minimal pulls, but in the matte black, so that kind of gives you the idea there. And then for the cabinet, it's it's a white oak, but I did a gray wash to kind of help it work really well with the gray tones that we have going on in this scheme here. Always, too, if you have your paint swatches, you know, bring those into the picture and kind of lay it out by everything, or even paint a larger piece to just kind of make sure that that paint color complements all your finishes. That would probably be one of my top words of advice. Paint colors definitely can have, even if it's a white, kind of an undertone, and you don't want it to clash with anything you have going on. This, for instance, is a natural stone, so you're gonna have variation in it, like you see there. That is something I really like as an element in tile and countertops and the like, but you have to really pay attention. Get maybe a couple samples just to make sure that there's not like some random outliers that might be part of that look that you're gonna get on occasion and you may hate. Just kind of be overly cautious when it's natural stone of getting samples, and also being sure to order as much as you need when you do your initial order, because usually you can return what you don't need. I know that at Floor & Decor for sure, they let you return your unopened stuff rather than having to get another batch, because even like in our bathroom that we did at the remodel project, the one that has the cement tile on the floor, the wall tile was actually just a glossy like porcelain, and somehow we just didn't quite have enough. And then, oh, I know, it wasn't somehow. I decided to take that tile all the way to the ceiling last minute. And so we had to order some, and they said that the batch was slightly different color. You can't actually tell, but still, it was something to be aware of. Even on those more man-made type tiles, there can be some variation in batches. So just order a little extra. That's what I would say. And also if something breaks, you crack a tile, that rarely happens, but you could replace it. For another one of our kids' bathrooms, we did this fun penny tile on the floor. And then for the shower, we just went with a more solid, longer tile like this. And it was just kind of simple, but cute. And then of course it had the tub built in, so didn't have all of the, you know, shower floor and things to pick out with that. The cabinet in there is a white washed oak, or it's a white oak with a white stain over, and a really fun space. I don't think I've really shared that one too much, but I think tiles like this kind of give a little bit of a lighter, fun feel. more like kid-friendly looking. And the other thing to think about too is places where you might have your other flooring in your house meet up with tile. For instance, like, you know, if your wood flooring is in the hallway and then you have your bathroom. So I always also look at that, bring in a sample of the wood tile to see how it pairs with the tile that it's butting up against, because it will run into that. Or maybe you even have a place like we do in our primary bathroom where the tile meets the carpet, and so just make sure that is friendly as well, that the colors don't clash. I think that can be an oversight sometimes, but definitely something to think about. And I'm gonna show you one more thing real quick. This is kind of another fun one that I just had samples of. This is a marble mosaic, and I thought that'd be a really cute shower floor with like the Chloe tile for like a shower wall tile. And you'll kind of see how this goes really well with different marbles and different mosaics too, because it's so simple and clean. And it's a little bit fresher, I feel like, than your typical Subway for those reasons I was saying, with the, you know, more natural handmade looking edge. And then this comes in a few different colors too. So definitely one that I think is a good to pair with just about anything. Hopefully that gave you guys a few ideas in terms of tile and kind of what to look for and some of my favorites. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of future videos as well, and we'll see you next time.